Welcome folks back to the Car Boutique Detailing channel. I've set up a lovely stand here. It is a gorgeous April 2023 day, so we thought we'd come outside and do this video rather than the noisy garage which is inside. So what we're looking at today, we are looking at Ava's brand new Premium Foam Cannon bundle. Now, we were quite critical of the Snow Foam Cannon that came with the Ava Evolution P60. If you haven't seen that review, I'll put a link in the comments, but go and have a look. And it puts into context why we're doing this review. And we did say that if Ava released an improvement to this, we will come along, have a look at it and see if it's an enhancement with essentially the one that you get with the bundle, which arguably was okay for someone entering the detailing market, but for a more enthusiastic professional detailer, it wasn't up to scratch, so hopefully this is. So what do you actually get in the bundle? Well, it comes very, very well packaged in this nice box, so everything's nice and contained. You get the actual Snow Foam Cannon assembly itself, and you get 1, 2, 3 1-litre bottles, which are each individually numbered. And now when we do this analysis, we are going to be comparing it, okay, to the observations we made on this. Firstly, to see if all the issues that we addressed when we did the review on the Evolution P60 have been addressed, and whether this essentially is a good alternative to an off-the-shelf Snow Foam Cannon. So first of all, we're gonna have a look at this bit here. So when we actually looked at the observations with the Snow Foam Cannon that comes with the pressure washer bundle, we made a few observations about this. There were some nice observations that the actual tube, the pickup tube, was silicone, so it's less susceptible to cracking and drying out, and this one has got the same as well. We made the observation about how this was difficult to connect with the actual bottle itself because of the narrow orifice and quite a tricky screw thread. We made the observation that there wasn't much control over your foam mix, okay, so we'll have a look at that as well, and generally a bit plasticky. Now when it comes to the Premium Snow Foam Cannon, some significant improvements, okay. Now first of all, you can see on the bottle, huge wide capacity, and it's a lot better thread. So when you're filling up with water in your solution, it is going to be so much easier than using a tiny orifice and you're going to be dripping all over using the other one. So this one is a big improvement. The pickup tube, again, it's slightly longer because obviously we've got slightly bigger bottles. It's silicone again, which we've already discussed. And a couple of observations on the actual lid here itself. It's also got a little screw thread there. And what you can do, if you didn't want to use the bottles itself, you can use the standard 1-litre bottles. Most of them have got the same screw thread. And then you can put this in. And for whatever reason, you may wish to use a bottle of your choice, which is good. So the actual construction of this nozzle is a great improvement. You have got a far better control, all right, so you can actually see it has got a brass impeller there, and your setting is in steps, so you can set it to the step that you like and leave it. It's not going to move. It needs positive effort to open and adjust your fan pattern. The actual mix ratio dial is on the side, not on the top where you usually get them, and again it's done in clickable incremental steps, so you can go from 1 to 9. And when I did my test, just for your information, it was on the full setting, so the foamier setting. And once again, if you've worked out your PIR or you've just worked out the setting that you actually like, you can dial it in and stick to that number. Now, the one thing I will say is normally when you're looking down on the dial, you go fully clockwise for maximum foam. This is slightly different. It's anti-clockwise for the maximum foam, so it's flipped, it's in reverse, but you'll soon get used to that. Like I said, the actual impellers are brass, and it's got an acid-resistant steel filter in it as well. Okay, so it's built for longevity. Now, if you're asking about things like maintenance, all you do is you've got a couple of pins there. You push through the pins, this clip comes out, the nozzle comes off, and you've got access to the filter should you need to change it, which is nice. So when it comes to connecting this actually up to your trigger gun, there is a consideration or a limitation. The actual fixture is a fixed Ava connector, arguably very similar to the Karcher connector. So you are limited to, at the moment, attaching this to your actual trigger gun from your Ava pressure washer. Now, I believe there might be an adapter coming, or there might even be one out at the moment whereby you can put the adapter onto this and it will convert it to your quick release, your 1/4-inch quick release system, which is great. But I'm going to talk about whether this is a suitable replacement as a standalone off-the-shelf Snow Foam Cannon as opposed to others right at the end when I do my wrap-up summary. But it's nice and easy to connect to these, and this will go basically from the P30 right through to the P80 range, so it's a standardized fit for those pressure washers. And it's super nice and easy. You just use their it's like paintballing now, isn't it? I'm going to do that one again. Take two. Okay, it is nice and easy to connect this in. All you do is like that, okay? You can now leave it like that, or you can actually do the locking collar as well. And it is a well-presented bit of kit. All right, it's not super heavy. Yes, we haven't got water in it at the moment. It is well balanced, which is nice. And it looks the part. It looks very professional. So looking at the bottles, now when we did the review on the Evolution P60, we made the observation that 600 or 700 millilitres bottle was a bit of a bizarre figure really. It complicates things when you're doing all your maths and working out your PIR. So Ava have actually seen sense, and they've gone back to standardised or moved on to standardised 1 litre bottles. Now you'll see there's 3. Arguably, if you want to be really, really basic, you've got 2 spares for your main bottle, but they are good quality plastic, and I don't think you're going to have any issues. Now, why I think they've gone for 3, in my opinion, is a bit of flexibility. You could do some prep work before you come out and actually start on the cast. So my observation with this, I'm going to put snow foam in 1. I'm going to put shampoo to facilitate that safe wash process. So I'll have my shampoo in this. I'll still use my 2-bucket method for my contact wash, which is great. And arguably the third one could be used for something like a foam applied sealant, which is good. So you can prep it all before you come out, and you're not having to wash out, purge through, remeasure. You can get it all set up, which is really, really good. Now you'll see that 2 of them have got lids on. Now these lids are really, really nice. They're nice and tight. Okay, so if you're transporting your fluids around, they're not going to leak out. Arguably, you could use these to stack everything. All right, for whatever reason, if you wanted to stack them, they're quite nice, saves room, which is great. But the main reason why I think they've put these lids on are arguably when you've got this full, it's quite easy to topple. What you can do is you can take off the lid, that fits perfectly in, and that's reduced your topple rate. All right, so they've thought about this, and like I said when I did the Ava pressure washer review, they seem to have trawled the internet, found all negative or constructive criticism on previous pressure washers and attempted to remedy them, because there's a lot of innovation here. I don't know any other Snow Foam Cannon that comes with a base. I don't know any that come with 3 bottles, and it's good. It's encouraging to see, and kudos to Ava for trying to think this out and help the detailing community, which is good. Delving a bit deeper into the bottles itself, we've already discussed a nice wide orifice for pouring your liquids in. Now, in terms of measurements, etc., they come up with a couple of ideas. They've got all their ratios here. I'm not sure if you can see them. So 1 to 4 is 20%, 4 to 1 is 80%, right up to a full, which is 100%. So they're working your ratios out, and they've got your normal 100 mil, 200 mil, 300 mil, 400 mil. Now, something I haven't seen before is, if you can see there, they've got these steps. And what them steps are for is, if you fill it up to the first step, it's 25 millilitres of product. If you fill it up to the second step, it's 50 millilitres. And if you fill it up to the third step, it's 75 millilitres. So there's this stepping action. And that's great, because basically what you can do is you can pour in, see it's come up to the level, you know you've got 25. You don't have to worry about measuring jugs and all that kind of stuff. Once again, unless I'm grossly mistaken, they're the only people that do that. So innovation throughout. Really, really good. So the final thing I'll say about the bottle, they look very much like the protein shaker, so don't get confused if you go to the gym picking one of these up, all right, or if you are using it for that, make sure you wash it out. The only observation or area for improvement that I can see, yes, we might pick up some stuff when we're operating it, is what I would like to see, and I think it's a small modification, is have the weight at the bottom of this silicone tube. It has got a sort of cutout there, but I would like to see a weight at the bottom like most of them have nowadays. So when you're actually using it and it tilts up like that, the weight brings the straw down to where the liquid is. I personally think that is an improvement that Ava can make to really nail down this as an effective replacement for some of the higher end bottles Snow Foam Cannon. So we've had a look at everything. I think I've pretty much covered everything I'd like to say. What we now need to see is how good this operates. I'm going to compare it against the one that you get with a bundle, and I'm also going to compare it with a known good Snow Foam Cannon to see how it compares and put to context how good or bad this is. Okay, so we're going to actually test this out and see what it's like. So I'm going to have to play with the adjustments, and more importantly, to just see with this extra litre, bearing in mind that Ava pressure washer has quickly processes that water, its flow rate is really, really high, whether there's actually enough capacity in the actual bottle to snow foam a car, because we ran out when we used the Snow Foam Cannon from the bundle. So we're going to have a quick play and then we'll start digging into the details. Okay, so plenty there to do a car, and I've got about 200 or 300 millilitres left. All right, so more than enough. So we've got over the issue of not having enough capacity in the bottle by that enhanced bottle of one litre, which is great. All right. Now, in terms of the foam, it's good quality foam. I've got this on the maximum setting, remember, and we're going to do a comparison about foam densities when we compare all three in a minute. Okay, but that is really, really good. I'm just going to use the last 200 or 300 to have a play to see how good the adjustment is. So that's me at no foam, okay, which is good. And we're just going to increment it up and see if there is actually control. So that's 5, 6, 7. That's good. You actually can control the foam mix, not like some where they've got a dial, but you're going minimum, mid, getting there to the maximum foam mix, and then suddenly the mix kicks in. From 0 to sort of 4, there's not that much adjustment, but sort of 5, 6, 7, 8 to 9, you can see it getting foamier, 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 foamier. So the mixture mechanism works, which is really nice to see. Okay, moving on now, we're going to do some comparison work, looking at the foams these Snow Foam Cannons produce. I'm going to compare the new one that we're reviewing from Ava with the old one you get with a bundle, and also with an Auto Gleam Polar Blaster, just to make a comparison. Yes, I know it's rough and ready, but it's just a useful test for me and hopefully for you. Now, in each Snow Foam Cannon, I'm going to pour out 1 part snow foam solution, which is HB Source Banana pH neutral snow foam, with 9 parts water into all 3 of them. And then I'm going to use 1 Snow Foam Cannon for the side, 1 for the middle, and 1 for the outside. And then I'm going to do it as quick as I can, because obviously the one that I apply first is going to start dripping off before the last one. I'll do that as quick as I can, and then I'll get the camera off the tripod, zoom in, and see, just to compare. I think it's a useful test. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, this is the first side we did with the new Ava Snow Foam Cannon, and the snow foam is still loitering. The drop-off rate is good, okay, which is fine. And like I say, that one there has been on the longest, probably about a minute already. Moving on to this middle section where we use the old Snow Foam Cannon from Ava, you can still see it's dripping off. The consistency is a lot thinner. So there's the new Snow Foam Cannon that's been on longer. This is the old Snow Foam Cannon, which is just pouring off, and the consistency is a lot less. And then over to the Snow Foam Cannon from Auto Gleam, which again is thicker foam and slip rate not as much. So this is a rough and ready test, but arguably I'd say the Auto Gleam one is very comparable to the new Ava one. And the middle section is basically running off really, really thin. And that was the original Snow Foam Cannon. So like I said, this is a rough and ready test. It'd be nice if I could get 3 Snow Foam Cannons all firing at the same time. All right, but look at the slip rate, look at the consistency. Yes, they've been on different times. I'm sort of comparing those two as sort of comparable, but that one there, as we saw in the original test when we did the pressure washer, it just runs off too quick. It's not volumized foam that has got that stiction to the paint, that loiter rate. So yeah, a useful test, I think. Right, so the last sort of functional check I want to do on this is just to look at the spray pattern adjustment. So no landscape portrait function with this. All right, so you're essentially locked into the uppy downy, the portrait. But let's just have a quick look going through all the notches and the sort of spread of snow foam pattern you can get. So we will go. So that's your maximum, and we'll ramp it down to the minimum. So the minimum is like a rifle going off. It is a pencil beam. You can see that. Okay, but good. Every time you adjust the notches, it does sort of fan up quite well. And I've just got myself using that pencil beam absolutely covered in foam, obviously for your pleasure. That's us finished playing. Summary, my opinion overall. Now, in comparison between the one that you get free with the machines and the Premium Foam Cannon, black and white, day and night, hands down, this is a better, more premium snow foam cannon. They've addressed all the issues that myself and a lot of other reviewers picked up. And like I said with Ava, they do listen to what reviewers are saying. And if it's got credibility, they will go and change it, which is good. The only 2 recommendations, if I may, that I would say is it definitely needs the pickup weight at the bottom of the tube. Although I didn't have any issues, if you are sort of going really, really quickly and your bottle's going like this, there is a chance that the tube will come out. With the weighted area, it'll always go back to where the majority of the water is. That is definite improvement that can be made. What I'd also like to see in future ones is this having a landscape portrait function. Some people do like that, and the fact that it doesn't have that ability may put people off. But that's the only 2 sort of observations I make. How I'm going to be using this, I am going to be using this as opposed to my other snow foam cannons. The reason being is every time I need to put my off-the-shelf snow foam cannon, I'm having to put an adapter in, then put that into there. Plugging that into there straight away is a good function for me, and I'm happy with the performance of this snow foam cannon. It does everything I want to do. If you are comparing this and you do have an Ava pressure washer machine and you are still looking at this as opposed to other ones, I would say that in comparison to the Auto Gleam one I used, both on maximum settings, having looked back at the video footage, I would say the Auto Gleam one does produce a bit more thicker foam. So this was on its maximum, so that was the sort of maximum foam that this could use. Other cannons like the MJJC arguably are going to give you more foam as well. So if you're into that show foam, or for whatever reason you like thicker foam, there are better foamers out there, so that might factor into your choice. But I'm happy with it. I've got my own preference on thickness. Thickness for me, yes, it looks great on videos, but I'm looking at what I want the snow foam to do, and I want it to slip off but loiter as well, so it's that combination. It's all about choice, and it's all down to you. Now, if I didn't have an Ava a pressure washer and I was looking at this in relation to other ones, would I go for this one? I probably wouldn't. I don't actually see the need. There are snow foam cannons on the market that offer a few extra stuff like the landscape portrait. They've got the weighted pickup tube, and they produce more foam. So there is big choice out there. I don't really see a need for you to buy this if you haven't got a Ava pressure washer or the Karcher, but that's my personal opinion. So that's it. That's all I've got to say. Really happy with the significant improvements. Interesting to see where Ava go with their future developments, their snow foam cannons, but they've made massive steps in improving their snow foam cannon. Now, the last check is I'm going to take it off the tripod. I want to know, and I haven't tried this yet, whether that fits on my snow foam cannon. How exciting. Or my pressure washer. How exciting. So let's do this live. Here we go. I'm going to be really disappointed if this doesn't. Right, it's a bit finicky, so it doesn't go in that way. Let's say I like a bit of liveness. Let's see. There we go. you've got to make sure that is pointing out. So there you go. It does. Now, when I did the pressure washer review, not all off-the-shelf snow foam cannons fitted on that, but I don't know if that is luck or they designed it like that, but it fits on my pressure washer. So that was a fine little test. I'm quite happy. Really, really happy about that. I was thinking about that last night. I was thinking, I wonder if it fits on the pressure washer. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it entertaining. If you haven't subscribed, all that kind of stuff. And I know we're not doing this wavy flags at the start, but I'm going to put them in now. So take care.